I'm gonna take this one away because we have the same issue, nagging issue over and over again, where you guys just can't hear V. I hopefully you can hear me because well, that'd be kind of awkward if I were talking into a blank space right now. But we have a pretty cool matchup coming ahead of us. We got Slaughterhouse going up against Sinister, and finally, it's not me without the tech issues. Finally, we got V kind of experiencing some stuff, but I mean, I would never want to wish that kind of terror on anyone. So, really, I'm just waiting on V to get on back. Can you hear us now? You good now? Uh, so still no audio from V. Wow, this is awkward. I love the nails. I don't know if you can appreciate it. Well, you can appreciate it definitely to the audience, but it's so good to be here with you once again. I finally got my internet issues figured out. I can finally speak to you guys on the broadcast, and it feels so good to be back after a week break, even though I casted the community games. I love it around here, in case you couldn't tell. V. Um, all right. Well, while we are waiting on V to get back into this, why don't we just throw it on over to the rosters that we're going to be seeing inside of this game? So on the screen right now, you obviously have the Slaughterhouse women who are looking to get their season back on track. They've struggled throughout the first 3 weeks. I don't think they have a win as of yet, but this is a perfect opportunity to try and get their season going. And might I add, not a second too late, because if they don't get things going in this week, they're going to continue to plummet down the standings. We got Fawasawapta, we got Kato, Main, Megninj, and Garbage. We got Sinister Red as well on the other side. Lady Brutal, E-Girl, Brittany, Pyromaniac, and Assault Queen. And, well, Sinister, obviously they have a win. That's something that Slaughterhouse Women unfortunately cannot say as of yet. But, I mean, this is a team that's seen a lot of inconsistencies. They went from, I think they 7-0 to team, or 7-1 to team way back in the day. And then, obviously, they've been struggling a little bit. So, a little bit of inconsistency from both of these rosters, really. But we know how much potential that they bring to the board. So, do we have V yet, Santa? I'm going to keep this going because apparently we don't have her back yet. So, V, if you can hear me, check your inputs in your Google Chrome, in your VMix. But why don't we just throw this on over to the map bands, keep the show on the road as much as possible, and we have to find out where these two teams are going to do battle. So, take a look at the screen right now. Coastline going to be that first map taken off the board. Cafe to follow. And in case you didn't know, here at Project Eris, we play best of ones. Unfortunately, we will not be seeing Bank. And, well, unfortunately, while we try to get V's issues sorted out, we have an issue of our own. It's that we're going to be playing on Borrigan once again. And I am tired of seeing this map. I'm sure all of you are too, but nonetheless, that is going to be our battleground. And that, well, I mean, the one thing that you can say about Borrigan with the amount that you see it, I mean, it beckons consistency, and I think that's what these two teams are looking for. I'm gonna keep on carrying the show because we still have no audio on V, and we do apologize for all the technical issues that we are facing right now. But yeah, as we've been alluding to, Oregon is going to be our sort of battleground here between these two squads, and well, it's like I said, just it's going to ask for consistency between these two. You know how the executes are going to play down, and I'm expecting big things out of both of these rosters. Someone has to escape with a win. Maybe Slaughterhouse can finally establish that first win on the board. But if we could throw it on to, I think we have a head-to-head going on up next. We can take a look at some standout players between the two teams. So Mel's for the Slaughterhouse Women. We also got Lady Brutal on the other side. Well, Mel's has certainly struggled throughout the course of this season. You can see her with that 0.54 rating. It frankly hasn't been pretty for anyone on Slaughterhouse as of recently. I mean, I looked at their stats earlier, and there was just a lot of struggles except for a couple of players, and the couple of players kind of switch places. I think they substituted for each other at some point in the season. Meanwhile, for Sinister Red, we've got Lady Brutal sitting at that 1.0. She was +1 on KD, but -1 on entry. So unfortunately, she is she's having about as good of a season as you can season as you can expect. And do we have V?
Oh my god. Okay. So I don't know. We are sponsored. Project Eris is sponsored by Razer. And all of us here, the casters, we got some really cool headsets. I decided, my microphone's been acting all weird, so I'm going to try the Razer headset. Everything seemed fine. It would not go through to the call. So, I'm having fun over here. So I'm glad that, last week you got your time in the sun. And then today you got yours. So I'm going to figure out what's going on with everything else, because everything is just absolutely chaotic at this point. It's crazy.
Between me and you, we really can't catch a break, can we?
I don't know why.
It's been tough.
I genuinely don't know why. My joke going into the game, or going into it, was welcome to the tech issue hour. And I couldn't even say that because of tech issues.
I feel so bad. I guess I passed on my issues to you, but your issues aren't even ISP side issues. So we're going to try and move past the tilting that we had in the pre-show, and we're going to keep this ball rolling now. We aren't seeing a Thatcher ban. We're seeing Ayana and Nomad, and that's something that is kind of caught my eye in recent play, just not seeing a Thatcher ban as often. And V, why do you think that is?
I think it is because Yana they've had a little bit of changes going on through, but yeah, these are some really, really different bans than I think what we're used to. Mute usually would not see a mute ban on Oregon. Sometimes you might see like Valkyrie or a Kaid, but with mute going down, Clash as well. So we're in for a treat here.
I definitely think so. The Clash ban, wow, that is a very interesting one. Unfortunately, we are going to be able to run inside of the halls. The electrical shield will not play a factor inside of this game, and this is just so far out of what I would expect out of a ban phase. I was expecting to see like a Valkyrie or some sort of other information denial, and I guess we kind of got that with the Clash, but Clash is more so for live info, whereas Valkyrie or someone like a Mira or even some other operator with a deployable camera of sorts, it's just interesting to see, right? Because we're not seeing any, they could bring it all to the board, but we're actually not seeing it from the side of Sinister. They're opting to bring that castle instead of the Mira. Velociraptor, meanwhile, is going to switch onto that Flores from the Twitch, and those Rotero drones make a huge difference inside of the rounds as well. They are very oppressive, especially on this basement bomb site, where as long as you're not getting your Rotero drone shot out, you are free to do pretty much whatever you want. You're free to clear so much utility, and with that Jaeger on the board, not being able to directly counteract that, and I would say not the Aruni either. I mean, there are plenty of uses for this Rotero drone, and I think that's a perfect pickup for the side of Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, definitely, but Slaughterhouse going with kind of a very, very explosive style of comp. You look at, there's two soft destructions. You've got Maverick, Flores, the only person who doesn't bring an explosive power of any kind is that Capital. And Mega still has the ability to have those firebolts, that hard reach as well. So I'm expecting just everything in the kitchen sink to be thrown at Sinister at this point, because I think the Aruni, Jaeger, and Castle is a very smart play, countering what SH are bringing to the board, but I don't know if that's intentional or just kind of like their main strategy for this very unique first sight.
It seems like a very one-pronged take as well. They haven't really pressured into elbow from what I've seen. They're mainly trying to take into tower and clear from the top down. They're going to have to deal with Brittany, though, sitting at the other side of the attic, as well as all of the players that are sitting inside of the meeting hall. So overall, I think that Sinister, they have the angle play necessary to try and counteract this sort of attack, especially with Queen and the other player on site, that's E-Girl, sitting on that smoke. They do have what is necessary to counteract any sort of take into the side of pillar, and that's exactly what we're seeing as Pyromaniac is going to find that first frag. That's Kato going down. The Maverick taken off the board. Unfortunately, no frag grenade use, no blowtorch, and that could be a huge pick moving forward.
Definitely. It's not as big, I think, because, you know, they've dedicated so much into that kind of meeting hall take, but now that Pyra's kind of able just to really snipe on in, it's going to allow for a lot of things to go wrong on this attacking side, and you can see it with Queen taking out Meg just right then and there. They're able to duck in behind Electrical, and the Red Pings, they aren't going to be super useful. So right now, a 4v3, Sinister on top, and it's just left over to the main fraggers of SH. You can see with these great guns in their hands to really get some work done. The Fuser is not in their pocket as well, so there's a lot of secondary objective that SH need to do, but it's Velociraptor taking a huge chunk of damage as they try to get in, and they're just not going to make it out alive.
Yeah, all the members of Sinister really just have all of Slaughterhouse in a funnel. They know exactly where their position is, which is at the bottom of this pillar, and all they have to do is find the vertical angles or even just hold for the diffuser, knowing that Slaughterhouse have to go for it. But with 50 seconds remaining, they've got to try something. Garbage with some well-placed shots, unfortunately not finding them all, though, and Sinister are going to secure our first round. Very good defense from them. They were just able to hold really all of these positions, and once Slaughterhouse got into Big Tower, they really didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, Big Tower, they kind of seemed stuck on those stairs. I think the meeting hall play kind of threw them for a loop, because you never expect a meeting hall hold on a basement site. I thought initially they were going to meeting hall. That's why I mentioned like a unique first pick, because I thought they were going to meeting, but no, they dedicated so much utility, and it worked out. You saw Pyro just hanging on the hatch, looming and stopping the attack. Even when they were initially able to clear those tower stairs, they still had to get through everything going on through. Every defender with nasty guns, C4s, just like I mentioned, everything in the kitchen sink got thrown at SH, actually, not those defenders.
Every single possible way that Slaughterhouse could have made their way into the site was absolutely shut down. Sinister had angles, they had information on pretty much every single entrance that you could have by moving from the pillars. So it seemed like Slaughterhouse were going to send that from basically from the beginning of the round, right? They made their way into the tower and they got stuck in their ways and said, hey, we're going to push on in and we're going to see if you have anything to do about it. Obviously, Sinister had the perfect response, and well, that's why they're sitting at a 1-0 lead. Now, Slaughterhouse, obviously, they're going to be heading onto an attack onto the top floor bomb site, which is a very different sort of pacing bomb site. You have to get this attic wall open, or you've got to be able to get that master bedroom wall. I can kind of see that Slaughterhouse may be opting for a two-pronged take, where they're going to try and maybe get some pressure on both sides, maybe the double window as well. But overall, they have to open up one of these extra areas of attack. Otherwise, Sinister is going to shoot them like fish in a barrel.
Just initially waiting on through. It's going to be Brittany kind of holding that attic area. With the hatch shot open, it's going to be a little bit more dubious for SH to try to make their way through, but Meg droning it out, they obviously spot the hatch, so there isn't going to be too many bodies for Brittany to really shoot at. They're just trying to clear out, making sure there's no roamers on this middle floor or even the bottom floor, as well as Velociraptor tries to get into this big tower to get another initial hold. The thing is, that wall is electrified, so they're going to need somebody to go in meeting and shoot it out from beyond, because they do not have a Maverick. They don't really have anybody that can take out these walls, even though Thatcher technically is in play here.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I was talking to Chief about this yesterday, about how even though Thatcher is on band, you might not be used to playing him, so you might not bring him to the board, and I think that's exactly what we're seeing here. Unfortunately, Meg is going to fall very early. That's Brittany just watching from below. They have this hatch open inside of the attic to prevent anyone from pushing into the meeting hall, and that's exactly what we saw there. I think Meg might have been the wrong person to send into meeting hall just because she doesn't have a good way of dealing with these bandit charges, but nonetheless, it's still a very costly first pick. They are going to be able to pressure onto something with that Rotero drone taking out both of those bandit charges, but I have to say, maybe the damage has already been done, and Sinister seem to be in the driving seat.
Yeah, great play with the Rotero there, and just hopping on, using the sticking ability that it gives you. And now they're going to be able to open up this wall with about 45 seconds left, and they're going to have a big window hold as well. But the person that they really need to be aware of is Brittany. But with these new flash reworks, they're just not aware of Daeger. They're throwing it all the way back, but it's Brittany. The flash was probably still on her, and she's going to get taken down. But there is going to be both Meg and Garbage who are gone, and Pyra's just not going to win that one out. A 2v3 left. That's just Kato and Mine, both on opposite ends of the site, and they need to get this bomb down, or at least find another kill just to start winning themselves in the frag department. But as that diffuser goes down and Mine gets taken out, it's Sinister for their second round in a row.
You know, despite these bomb sites really bringing two different vibes, I guess you would say, or two different sort of strategies to the table, it really just came down to Sinister once again, just being very proficient in the spots that they were playing. And they weren't really pressured by the Slaughterhouse woman at all, outside of Brittany, who was able to get a kill on the attic anyway. So you can argue that she had a big impact on the round. Really, Slaughterhouse just struggled with trying to force the members of Sinister, the members of that defense, into some very uncomfortable positions. Sinister were able to just sit in their spots for pretty much the entire round, and I think that spelled the full story. I would like to see maybe a little bit more pressure, maybe something to sort of force some discomfort between those Sinister players.
Right now, because it is that third round and Sinister has one of the two, they're forced to either choose between meeting kitchen or kitchen dining, and they're going to choose the place where they, put a lot of defenses on that first round. So I'm expecting that we are going to have some really good holds here from Sinister, because they are used to this kind of meeting hall to basement hold on that basement site, that they're going to be more prepared for when teams try to attack it head on. And you can see that with the castle, with the bandit, and all of the other operators that are in play, especially with the Maestro. I'm expecting Lady Brutal to really put those evil eyes in really precarious situations that just annoy the heck out of SH, despite their limitless abilities to take those out.
Yeah, something that I would like to see from SH as well is I feel like they're dry peeking quite a few things, really. They had to have known that hatch was open in that last round, which really offered up a free pick to Sinister. So I'm going to be looking at the drone work in particular in this round to see, the kind of rounds that we're going to be seeing from the Slaughterhouse women's sort of attacking side. And, well, I mean, Sinister, they have the driver's seat. They have all of the momentum in the world right now. And the first engagement already happening out as Queen, sitting inside of Attic, is already getting pinched down. The question is, are they going to be able to get this kill? They know her position. It's just a very precarious spot to be in. She's moved her way inside of the game room, and possibly Miss Drone is going to swing out. Unfortunately, just tucked in a corner is Kato, who will eventually find the landing shots, and Queen is going to fall. That's our first pick of the round.
Yeah, that's called some unfortunate timing. We call that in Siege. The peak just wasn't able to find the head. The C4 unfortunately ripped as soon as Kato peeked that. Now Sinister actually starts off with a man down in mind, getting very, very dangerous as Brittany wants to really even this one up. They could get some amazing plays if they play their cards right. They did not find the initial kill on Garbage. They're going to have to back up right behind the dorms, and they are going to find the kill. They are, but they are going to pay with it for their lives. It's a 4v3, and right now SH do have the top floor. No C4s in the pockets of anybody on Sinister, so now they're just going to have to rely on strict guns, but it's Egro going up to the second floor. The roaming smoke, and that's going to be a huge mistake. Kato winning just around the corner. Saw it coming by a mile, and this might be SH first round. Still a minute left and still two members on full health for Sinister, but SH are looking very strong right now.
Sinister are going to be leaning on that information game to really push them to victory here. Losing E-Girl, who was playing on that smoke, was so costly because that buys you 45 seconds of round time. And, well, they're just not going to have that. All of Slaughterhouse have dropped into the bottom floor, into the meeting room there, and they're just going to have to try and push on through into B and get this plant down. But Lady Brutal and Pyra both have long angles that they can potentially play off of, and I'm not sure if they know the position of the castle as well. No, it doesn't seem that they do, but Kato, I thought she almost escaped with her life, but instead will be downed, and the diffuser still is in the hands of Mengdinch, who is eventually going to start that plant, and not a second sooner, Kato will eventually get finished off, but the diffuser is going to go down, and Slaughterhouse are in the driver's seat once again.
Yeah, Slaughterhouse right now, with the diffuser going down, the chances of Sinister coming away with this with a win just slims slower and slower. If Pyra's able to get the kill, but the UMP just does not have the fire rate to compare with the AR-33. But you know what does have the fire rate? That Ulta in the hands of Lady Brutal. Flash is going to go out. It's not going to do the intended effect, but that might not even matter. 16 seconds left. Lady Brutal down to 1 HP. They are going to find 1 kill. They're going to be on a sliver of HP, but in the end, SH find their first round of the game and probably at a very integral point.
Yeah, if they went down 3-0, I think that just, that kind of chalks your mental a little bit, right? Because if you allow a 3-0 lead, especially when the other team is on their defense, you have to think, wow, our momentum is pretty much ruined. Because when you're on the attack, you want to try and, force, again, some discomfort from Sinister Red. And I think that's exactly what they accomplished in that round. You saw from Sinister, just they were forced to swing things because of how aggressive that push was onto the top floor. And by the time that, the dust had really settled, Slaughterhouse had a 4-2 man or woman advantage and were able to push their way into the bomb site and get that plant down. So overall, again, it's just coming down to these early engagements and really just the team that is winning these early fights, these early skirmishes, eventually just define the whole round.
That is very, very true. That was the round where we did see Sinister take the first death in the hands of Queen, who was the leading kill, tied up with Pyromaniac, who has a DMR. I think that's kind of impressive to match up with the NP7, a single fire rate shotgun. I cannot run the DMR on a Rooney. The P10 Roni is too spicy for me, so I have to respect Pyra to really put up at least these numbers with the DMR. And right now, I think it's definitely working out.
Would it be fair to call the P10 Roni a crutch gun?
I mean, that wouldn't be too incorrect, I think.
I'm not saying this to be derogatory in any way. Like, I'm genuinely asking. Do you think it's one of the best guns in the game? I guess crutch gun wouldn't be the word that I would want to use.
I think the P10 Roni is one of the best guns in the game. I think the fire rate is very good. The damage and the mag size are really the only thing holding it back. But the reload size is decent. A lot of times you're really able to get some great things done, especially on Mazu, who still has the 1.5 on the P10 Roni, mind you. So if you're able to run him with that 1.5, you're able to do devastating things. So the DMR Pyra is still, like I said, doing wonderful things with that, able to create rotates, just break open hatches despite the Thunder Fist as well. And right now we're already seeing SH go on and notice these Surya gates and just kind of wonder how they're going to deal with this here.
Yeah, they have Surya gates. They have the castle barricades as well to try and deal with. And, well, Brittany's just going to be sitting on that top floor while everyone else is sort of aggressing below. The question is, do Slaughterhouse have an idea of where Brittany is, and are they going to be aware of this flank? I think Brittany is certainly setting up to try and make some late round plays while the rest of Slaughterhouse kind of just push in. It seems like Mine has kind of read into this fact, and you can see that by the yellow pings, and she's just going to be waiting up there for Brittany to cross into her barrel. And I'm not sure if this is going to work out for her because the yellow pings are ringing true. So this early engagement between Mine and Brittany is crucial here because Brittany could make some very big impact later on. The gunfire is being traded, but unfortunately nobody finding anyone's heads as of yet. But you can see Slaughterhouse with a perfectly executed ping. Kato with the nice shots will eventually take down Brittany, and they're in the driver's seat once again with Brutal about to take another gunfight. Oh my gosh, that was basically full white on the screen. That blinded me. Pyra able to find another one though, and Sinister, they're not in the worst straits, but they still are down one player.
Yeah, that new flash system hitting different. Lady Brutal could literally do nothing but wait and for death to meet her at the door. And so yeah, flash is now not only being used for utility clear like Surya Gates, like well my pancakes, but now they can actually be used to flash the enemy. Crazy, I know. But because of how strong they are, if you're in the radius of it, you are going to be flashed, and teams have been using that really powerfully. Right now, Queen has in the position to get a really good shot, but that smoke grenade doing wonderful things from that crossbow. But it's E-Girl finding one. Is the second one coming through? No, it's actually going to be Mine who's going to be refragged. It's Pyra finding two in the freezer. That is their third on the round, and it's Queen cleaning it up. And there we go. Sinister getting the 3-1 lead. They seem very strong. They seem very confident on these primary bomb sites.
Yeah, it's really their only issues really have kind of anchored themselves on the tertiary sites, right? And I'm expecting that trend to sort of continue. Sinister were really just able to sit in these corners inside of the bomb site and Slaughterhouse. They didn't have a lot of information to play off of, especially in the late sort of stages of that round. They wanted to full send on an execute, which is totally understandable because, well, you were able to clear out the roamers and you're not really expecting these players to play in these positions. But Sinister, well, they just met them with bullets out inside of the bomb site. And after a couple gunfights later, Sinister have a 3-1 lead. Now we're going to be heading back up to the kids' dorms. And like I said, I'm expecting this trend to continue. I'm wondering if they're going to allow Brittany to sit inside of Attic, inside of the long hall of Attic once again, or will they be a little bit more oppressive on her? And hopefully they don't give up a free pick to the hatch as well, because, well, you need all of that manpower, especially on the second floor bomb site.
Right now, I think it's going back once again to those very, very early engagements. And in last round, we did see the engagement go over to SH, but the time was so crucial, I think, in that situation. There was about a minute 15, a minute left when they got rid of Brittany, who was hanging out in kids' dorms. So by that time, they were forced to really rush onto the site, forced to hastily try their attacks, and Sinister just read straight into that. Pyra cleaning up inside of freezer because SH just was so quick on the draw that they had to because there was no time, and that's something right now Sinister just has absolute control over, and that's because their roamers are really doing their job right now.
Will the roamers do their job in this round once again is the biggest question. With the way that Slaughterhouse are playing, well, they're playing a very aggressive sort of mindset where I haven't seen a lot of drone work, but they've been able to match it up with their guns, but that's not a very long-term strategy that you can expect to sort of keep on throughout the course of these rounds. They're going to deal with these bandit charges much, much faster than they did in the other rounds, which is a good adjustment that they've made. They're not giving up anyone that tries to push into meeting to put pressure on Brittany, and I think that is exactly what you need to do in this situation. Now, it seems like a two-pronged attack once again. They're going to be taking into Master, and they're also going to try and push down this Attic and then push down from there and take the gunfights from kids. So they're going to have to deal with E-Girl, who's sitting inside of Trophy in a very aggressive spot behind this shield. And this gunfight is absolutely crucial to this round. The question is, who's going to win it? Does E-Girl know that two players are sitting out there with their guns trained on that shield?
Yeah, definitely. All three of those Ash charges were gone in the attempt to get rid of that utility. So now, right, you still did not take care of Trophy. Meg is pinged inside of walk-in closet. And you still have to get rid of this Alibi who just reactivated another Surya Gate. You did lose Brittany. You did lose Attic, but I think right now what Sinister has control in terms of the entire map is just too good. But that Surya drone, or that Rotera drone could be very, very good. It is going to explode just out of reach, so that shield should be still available, so Eagle should be able to still get. But just as I say that, they take a straight bullet to the head, and this could be SH's turn to really equalize it here, win these primary engagements. Wow. There we go, that DMR not going to find the head that Pyro wanted, and now it's a 4v2. That is going to be the end of that flawless round, but it might as well be, as it's only Lady Brutal stuck inside of Kids Dorm as that plant goes down. It seems that this is the round that SH really needed in terms of tie it up mentally as well, and as Lady Brutal once again gets flashed into oblivion, there we go, SH. taken that round.
That's an absolutely brutal position to be in. Just everyone pinching down on you all at once, and you've got to be just the craziest player to pull yourself out of that one. I think it was a very valiant attempt from Sinister, but overall they just lost all of that manpower that was extended outwards, and Slaughterhouse were able to just push their way on through and, well, put Sinister in their respective graves. Now they're going to be trying that bomb site once again, and, well, E-Girl put up a very valiant defense inside of Trophy. That has to be said. She was sitting behind those Jaeger ADSs. She had the Surya Gate for protection as well. It just, unfortunately, just some stray bullet caught her in the face, and there's really nothing you can do about that. But Slaughterhouse, they've shown that they have the propensity to be able to take onto the attic wall as well. So you can see that Sinister are trying to respond to that. They're opting to bring a Cade as opposed to the Bandit, which makes it harder for that Rotero drone to have full effect.
Yeah, that's definitely the reasoning for bringing that out. I'm wondering if that Rotero spot is intended, because it seems like the drone explodes outside, and then that entire utility on that attic side blows up. Yeah, I'm just speculating on from what I've seen, but the efficiency that SH were able to deal with that, and just how quickly the drone went out, bam, utility gone, that you're forced to go to a kite at that point, because now they have to put a little bit more effort into reaching that wall open, because you can't just put a drone outside clear of any harm, any foul, and go, well, onto the site.
Well, it seems like the exact same takes are coming through again, but, well, they can use garbage to try and deal with these electric calls from down below. I think that's one of the adjustments that they're going to try to make, and you can see it right now, right? They were expecting that Bandit. Well, unfortunately, that wall is still electrocuted because they brought the electric claws instead. I imagine they're sitting at the top of the walls, and they're going to have to dry peek into classroom and into meeting as well to try and deal with these electric claws. I just don't think that that's something that they want to do, knowing how dangerous the guns of Sinister can be, and you're kind of asking yourself to be put in some dangerous spots if you try and dry peek these angles. And unfortunately, 2 Rotero drones down and nothing to show for it, because that attic electric claw still is up, and E-Girl is able to find the headshot onto mine as well. And unfortunately, Slaughterhouse, the adjustments that were made by Sinister, they're proving to make dividends right now.
I think I actually might be dumb, because that actually might be a drone hole. where the drone comes from, not
Light Rose,
outside.
I would never call you dumb.
Yeah, look, you think that the amount of times that we have casted Oregon, that I would know that by now, that there is a drone hole in a very crucial spot, but, you know, you learn something new every day, but learning to die is exactly what Garbage is going to do. They are going to be able to take out Pyromaniac, but it's still the player inside of Armory that's going to be the real threat. Eagle's not going to find the kill, and that's going to be a huge detriment to the rest of that attack, but it is going to be that refrag there. A 2v2 at this point, a minute left. There's a lot of time for SH to regain their thoughts, and there's a lot of time for Sinister to change their positioning and how they want to defend these sites. But as that drone spots out Lady Brutal, she's going to have to go onto the desk, get another type of angle to take out Velociraptor. This could be the deciding kill in how this match really ends up, whether Sinister is going to take that 4-2 lead, or SH in the end is going to end up with at 3v3, but the drone is going to explode just a little too far out of range, as right now there's going to be 2 angles on Velociraptor. It's going to take a lot of damage, and they're going to find themselves dead on the ground. It's just Kato left outside White Stairs, and the position has just been given out to the entire enemy team, and that's not going to be a very, very good thing. She's going to peek one. She's going to find the shot. A great pre-fire going on out, but Brittany's just going to peek a little bit too late for the Banshee to do its job. The diffuser should be able to go down. She's going to start putting it down as Brittany's going to push right on forward. Here we go. 3 seconds left. Brittany keep on going through the rotate is where she's going to make her entrance. And just slipping by, not quick enough. 1 damage done to Brittany, and it's going to be Kato winning it out a 1v2. And it almost seemed impossible at that point. She shot the barricade on White Stairs, and I thought it was over.
Light Rose, I would like to tell you, you should never hesitate And I think this was one of those situations that kind of displays that in full form, right? Brittany waited just a little bit too long to try and push that diffuser and put some pressure in, and Slaughterhouse were able to take full advantage of that. Kato specifically, she played that position to an absolute T. She was very smart in that situation, tried to get that diffuser down, will give yourself the chance to fight another day. And well, when you're giving another fight, chances are you're going to be able to land that knockout punch, and that's exactly what we saw in that last round. Brittany, unfortunately, just wasn't able to read that situation in time and pushed a little bit too late. So overall, I still think that was a very strong round from both of the teams, really. But Slaughterhouse, they've established that man advantage, and they were able to snowball that into a round win. Now we're going to see SH on their defensive side, and I have to say, I'm not expecting too many changes. And how many changes are we really going to see, especially with this being Borgen, quote unquote? But maybe some little tiny meta games in between. I'm seeing mine on that Rook, which is a very interesting pick.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Rook. There's a lot of bad operators you could probably pick, but I think Rook is just an operator that he's a wholesome boy. Everybody, he puts down his sweaters, he helps the team out, and I think now that health change has gone through, I believe, that you feel the impact of those Rook plates a lot more than you used to. Before, it was kind of like, oh, it might help you survive on boat, but you won't really know that. It'll also help you stay down for 2 minutes instead of 1. But right now, the Rook, you feel chunkier. And that is good. That is something good. That Rook, with a little bit of change, not even to his gadget, that he feels a much more successful operator and much more... Why can I not think of the word satisfying operator? That's what it is.
I mean, he guarantees you 1 down, right? Unless you get shot in the head. And I mean, who wouldn't want to buy some Rook merch? I certainly would. He does need to clean his nails a little bit, but that's beside the point. So it seems like Sinister have taken a little bit of control of Master, but they're eventually going to just switch on over and try to establish some added control as well. I have to say, though, with the pacing of this round, it took about a minute for them to establish control of the Master bedroom, and well, I imagine this next take is going to take maybe another minute. I'm questioning a little bit the pacing from the Sinister side. It seems like bringing one hard breacher, it beckons a little bit of inconsistency, or a little bit of time waste. But overall, I am liking the pace that they are doing this with. With only one hard breacher on the board, they are doing this very quickly. They have added control, and they know there's one person playing behind this shield, but unfortunately, the shots won't ring true, and mine is going to live to fight another day. But the flashbangs are going to fly on through as well before getting caught by these Wamai magnets and ADSs and whatnot, the frag grenades as well. But mine is still just sitting there with all of her health and just one less deployable shield to work with. Velociraptor will find a kill as well, and Slaughterhouse are in the driver's seat.
Yeah, well, there's that ACOG really coming in helpful. It's magnetically attracted to Queen at that point. It's just 3 members left versus SH before they take the lead. As SH now still staying strong in the back of Attic is mine. They are going to get taken down on the ground as both Pyra and Lady Brutal find one as well. But as we do see E-Girl get taken out, it's just those 2 against the 3 members left. And one of those is Velociraptor. Very terrifying operator player that you do not want to go against, as it is going to be Lady Brutal losing that engagement, leaving Pyra in a 0-3 at that point as they lose that gunfight, and it's SH taking the lead for the first time in this match.
So the biggest reason why we call this map Borgen Light Rose, and I'm sure that you can attest to this as well, is that, well, it comes down to the exact same things every single round. It comes down to just establishing these long angles and then winning out a couple of gunfights and forcing the members of Sight into some very tough spots. Unfortunately for the attack from Sinister Red, yes, they opened up the angles. That is step 1 of the equation, but really there wasn't anything too oppressive outside of maybe that take onto mine inside of the attic. And everyone else on everyone else on SH were just able to sit pretty much. And overall, I think that was the difference maker in that round, and that's going to be another difference maker as we head down to the basement. You see the mirror on the board. That is a very standard pick. You expect these mirror windows to be placed inside of the E-box and then probably inside of this closet as well. But they're going to have to use a lot of utility to try and deal with this mirror. They also have to deal with the Goyo shields as well, and then a lot of deny from the side of Slaughterhouse too.
Yeah, it's something that Sinister really chose not to bring on their attack. Theirs was a lot of just utility, attacking utility, denial, Jaeger, I believe we saw the Aruni as well. It's something that SH are bringing, but they aren't fully dedicating themselves to it. It's a lot of information, and you still have the Goyo as, attacker utility denial, but that's also defensive information gain, because you can have somebody sitting behind the Goyo shield using it as cover so they can possibly peek out, whether that is blue door or freezer or one of those angles. That is where those deployable shields can really come in handy. But with Sinister bringing, Sledge, who does not have the SMG-11 anymore, very sad, but he does have the frag grenades. We've got Ash charges, RCXDs inbound. There's a lot that Sinister can choose to deal with these defenders' utility, but they do not have as many as SH, so they need to possibly use them a little bit more wise.
We're seeing a possible forfeiture of elbow as well, and I think E-Girl's kind of read into the fact, and she's going to try and push down there. You can see all of the other attacking members trying to rotate over there as well. I don't think anyone is sitting inside of elbow. They just have this long angle that they can play from freezer. Yes, they have reinforced off the elbow position, so it's really coming down to just Mine sitting behind this pillar, and she's lost one form of her cover as well. That Goyo shield, unfortunately, has been dealt with, and they're going to open up this elbow position and try and push on through. This seems like a very pillar/elbow sided attack, and I don't know, maybe I'm expecting one of these Sinister players to try and lurk out from a different angle, but Mine, she can just sit behind this pillar and just wait for anyone from elbow to push on through, anyone from blue, the tarps, one might call them. Velociraptor will eventually find that first kill. That's the gridlock going down. No smoke grenades will be played. Also, no track stingers as well. Queen, oh, that's a perfect nade. Unfortunately, not all the damage could have been dealt, and Kato still, she can just exist inside of that position. Queen has an idea of the elbow though, and Meg taking a lot of damage, but no killing shots landed just yet, and Slaughterhouse and Sinister will just continue to trade shots.
There's so much damage being done to these defenders, and initially it is going to be that deathly blow on over to Meg. So smoke canisters are gone, but you lose E-Girl, Brittany, and Queen in the time about 5 seconds with Pirate Ragdoll hitting the wall. SH, this defensive side, they have hit a little bit of their stride, but I think this third round is really going to be a testament to whether they're going to sweep on through this half or whether it's Sinister that's going to, possibly come back, do exactly what SH did on their attack. I mean, we can only tell we are going to have a little bit of a pause. I don't know if we're going to go back, but we could talk about the meeting hall kitchen. That is what they're choosing to do. It feels like we've seen a lot more meeting hall kitchen when we used to see dining kitchen.
It's a lot harder, in my opinion, to take control of Diner and really hold on to that. You only have a couple of positions that you can play extended into. I'm thinking that shower hallway, for example, which, yes, that is still an option to you when you play inside of meeting hall and kitchen, but that if you lose showers on a dining room defense, that spells all of the danger to your team, and you no longer have a crossfire to try and deal with a planner, because if you see a small tower take, that is exactly where they're going to try and put that down. So I think overall, the meeting hall and kitchen is definitely an easier sort of bomb site to play, and they have the tools to do it. We're seeing the Cade once again; those electric halls are going to play dividends, and it's going to come down to these hard breaches and whether or not they're going to be able to do so. That Habana is going to be huge.
Yeah, and it's something that Thatcher is something that Sinister are choosing to bring. because he's not banned, he's going to be in play by Sinister, something that SH chose not to bring on their attack at all. They kept with, the Flores, the Zofia, Ashe, a lot more destructive operators than simply EMP man, 50-year-old EMP boomer. And Sinister, is that choice better? Are they used to the Thatcher, or are they just saying, hey, he's available, let's bring him, it's free utility denial, when in all honesty you're kind of hurting yourself at that point because you're losing some of your usual attackers that you're used to on your attacking strategies, and instead that kind of just throws it all into whack, and Sinister now losing 2 in a row on their attacking side. How are they going to change it for Meeting Hall Kitchen?
Could it be a comfort thing with the Thatcher pick? Just not a lot of teams are going to be screwing with Thatcher just because of how often he gets banned out. And yes, we're seeing that come by a little bit less often. But overall, I still think Thatcher is one of those plug and play operators. You can bring him in a place of pretty much anyone. Yes, to answer your question, I think this meeting room take is going to be very interesting, and it is the sort of crux to this game. I think if Slaughterhouse or SH, if they're able to escape with this round, I think they're just going to snowball with that momentum and take it over to 7 rounds. But I mean, Sinister have a perfect opportunity to just stop that momentum in its tracks. And this is a huge round, and I think both of the teams can feel the weight behind it.
Definitely. I mean, with SH, I believe they haven't won a single map. They haven't won a single map with a single match. So yeah, one mappers. So this is definitely a game that seems winnable in all essence of the word. 5-3. You are going on a bomb site, which is weaker to the defenders, but you're going on a little bit of a streak here. I believe SH now won possibly 4 in a row at this point. 3-4 in a row. So they're going off of a little bit of a mental high at this point. So they want to keep that going. And if Sinister comes back and wins this, how are SH going to recover, not only from this week, but just going forward and into the coming weeks, knowing that they still don't have a win? And in the maps that have been winnable, they just haven't been able to close it out. So this is a very, very crucial match when it comes to, I believe, the entirety of the SH season, because when a lot of R6 teams, esports teams in general, can fall apart very easily. Yeah. If anybody has spent more than 5 seconds in esports knows that teams fall apart and form almost as fast as you can blink. And we all want teams to stay together, to compete for as long as they can, and the more you lose, the more you kind of get defeated, the higher chance that your team's really not going to stay together.
That's an awesome point, V. And could you tell that to every T3 team to ever exist that disband after losing one match? Could you please let people know that?
Look, the 12-year-olds, they need to get it out of their system somehow, okay? They need to get some of their prepubescent rage. And I think letting them video games is the best way.
Well, they'll learn eventually that you gotta kind of stick things out with your team, and then like later on you can make roster moves, I guess. But I don't know. Maybe people should try and figure things out amongst each other before you eventually start blaming each other and kicking each other off of teams. But that's just me. I don't know. I'm just a caster. I've never been on a team before outside the collegiate, and I wasn't very good in collegiate anyway. So what do I know? But the first of the natural cells are going to sing true. Unfortunately, no one taking any sort of damage except for Kato, who is just backtracking, just trying to backpedal further and further into the attic. Unfortunately, not able to backpedal far enough. Garbage able to get the refrag though, but seems like the trades are going in the way of Sinister so far. They have attic control, and Garbage is in a very tough position to play in. If she doesn't know that the members of Sinister push into attic, she could potentially be caught out from that hatch. She has her 2 teammates playing inside of kitchen. I would have expected a rotate to come through, and maybe it will, but Garbage is going to need some support inside of this position real soon. With 45 seconds remaining, it's getting tougher and tougher to play in that spot.
They do have the Thunderbird heal stations to use if they want to take these gunfights just want to get that much more chunky to take this one on. There is a Rook in play, but I guess these heals will do. They have one C4 and one smoke canister as that second one starts to dissipate, but Garbage finds one and finds two! A great spray transfer. It drops the diffuser, and now SH have the advantage. Brittany on this southern side taking a whole bunch of damage, so there is a whole discommunication going on through. There's no diffuser in the hands of Sinister. Garbage is covering both doors at this point, and Brittany can do nothing but run at this point.
Get out of there! Get out of there, Brittany! Oh man, such a good defense there from Slaughterhouse, and it really came down to just Garbage sitting inside of Meeting Hall like an absolute demon, and you're gonna see that on the instant replay here real soon. But she went huge inside of that position, finding I think it was 3 kills before eventually being. I don't think she was felled actually, and when they were able to find that kill, those 3 kills, that was huge because then you have a split between the members of Sinister. Now, I'm sure that they put Brittany in that position because they were expecting the best things to sort of happen. They were expecting Garbage to get felled pretty quickly, but when that didn't happen, it forces you into a very tough spot, and you lose that last remaining member that was going to push from the tower side, and, well, Brittany said, hey, I'm going to run for the fences. Now, Slaughterhouse, SH Women, you have the opportunity to put your first points on the board. And what a statement it would be up against this Sinister Red roster who, well, they have a win on this season. So you can, at the very least, tie them up and establish yourself again in the mid-tier of these rosters, because we're seeing the sort of standings playing out. We're hitting that midpoint of the season, and all of your wins start meaning that much more. You don't have any wiggle room, and I think that's what we're seeing from SH. We're seeing a little bit of desperation, and it's showing in their play. They're playing great right now.
I think what hurts more, barely missing playoffs or being last in a league?
Oh, barely missing playoffs, that's for sure.
Barely. So that is, I think, a question that barely missing playoffs. It's you almost had it, but one of these teams has to be a last. It's just part of competition. It's one of these teams has to be last, but I think there is going to be, and this sounds weird, a fight for last place. There isn't going to be one team that is just like, oh, okay, we kind of expected them to be at the bottom. No, everybody seems to, at least if there's kind of like 2 separate divisions where you've got, your Goo Goo Dolls at the top, Girl Boss, and then you've got kind of SH and Sinister fighting for these 1-match wins. So there is a lot of, I don't know if infighting is the right word. So it makes for exciting matches between these 2 teams.
Well, Sinister are going to have to do their damnedest to make this exciting once again, because they find themselves on the back foot. And I've said this a million times that it's starting to get old, but an animal with their back against the wall tends to be the most dangerous. I'm hoping that we can see that side of Sinister as we head on into the midpoints of these rounds. But I have to say Slaughterhouse have looked very strong in their past few defenses. And, well, we kind of said it, right? If they were able to win that Meeting Hall defense, that's kind of going to spell the result of this matchup. We have to see if Sinister are going to, flip the script on us a little bit, make us look like idiots as casters. With a minute and 30, though, we've seen mine in this position time and time again. I'm expecting the frag grenades to swing through, but, well, that's going to be delayed just a little bit with Queen taking a little bit of pressure in that position. Oh, the ADSs are there as well. They did not clear properly, and mine is going to be able to just sit in this position, and we know how nasty she can be with a gun.
I love how Velociraptor is still in the corner. Finally, I think they've been waiting for about a minute 30 at that point. Silent. Still, it works out. You're able to take out Queen on the rotate, and now Pyra is down. So you have to grab the diffuser. A smoke canister. All of your smoke canisters have been used up. This is the round. SH cannot lose this round because they've got too much at stake and they have too many advantages. Eagle in Trophy can find the initial frag for Sinister, but you've also got Kato peeking in that door. You've got Garbage hanging just around the door as well. And with Brittany and Lady Brutal, yep, you are going to see Eagle go on in, actually go straight through the Surrey Gate, find Garbage. Kato is just not quick enough on the draw as mine takes so much damage. It's getting actually a little dicey for SH if they find 1 to 2, but as Kato, if
Wow.
Indorms finds 1, finds 2, and just only 1 left, it's Eagle left with a thin amount of HP trying to stop Sinister, trying to stop SH from winning this match, and it's just not gonna happen, and SH get their first win of Project Eris on the board.
Oh man, it couldn't be a time sooner. They finally are able to establish themselves. They finally put themselves in that mid tier. I know we have a gigantic tie for like pretty much the whole middle of the table. So overall, you can't ask much more out of SH inside of that matchup. And well, I mean, Sinister, they had an opportunity to really vault themselves above that middle tier and put themselves on the level of, like right underneath Mirage Scouts in terms of the standings, but unfortunately just a missed opportunity in this match.
Yeah, and sometimes that's just how the cards fall. And on Oregon, Borgen, the map that is most played often, SH is going to come out on top. And I think that's going to be a really good thing for their confidence for matches going forward. And it shows that Project Sinister, they're going to have to fight to stay in contention for both playoffs and just to kind of stay in the league in general. And I think that makes for an exciting group of matches going forward all around for everybody.
Yeah, and you have Valkyries, you have teams like Talentless who are sitting at the bottom just waiting to usurp you. So overall, you can't sit pretty if you are both of these teams, really. Yes, if you're SH, you got your first win in the season, but you still have everyone sneaking up on you, trying to take that position away from you. You've got to be ready for every single matchup. We're hitting the meat of the season, as other casters would call it. It's do or die time pretty much, outside of the sort of playoffs or outside of the end of the season where maybe you're fighting for those final playoff spots. You've got to start putting yourself in great positions, and I think Slaughterhouse took a really good step in that right here. But we have one more matchup here tonight. We're going to throw it over to a short break, and we'll see you on after.